Hello preschool, welcome to your third week of occupational therapy. It's Miss Alyssa here, it's good to see you. This week we have another activity for you to develop our hand muscles and fine motor skills and visual motor skills. We also have a craft and we have our self-help skills this week. So we're going to start with an activity that you might have seen before to strengthen your fine motor skills, your hand skills. We made a little piggy bank out of a container. So any kind of plastic container you have at home, or even if you have a real piggy bank, that would be great. I just cut a slot in top of this container. I made a vertical and then a horizontal, so I crisscrossed it to allow items to get pushed in more easily into the container. And then inside my container, I have some small items. So I have my little pom-poms, so you can use cotton balls again, that from last week. And I have coins as well. I have some pennies here. So we're gonna put the cap back on the container. And what I'm really looking for is encouraging that use of a pincer grasp to pick up small items. And then you're gonna have your child take one finger, isolating their index finger, and push it down into the container. So we're gonna try that with coins. Push. And push. Push. And we're gonna push. And push. Now the coins might be a little bit harder, but you're still gonna use that pincer grasp to push in. All those in. So you probably need maybe 10 or 15 items for us this week to push into the container. And we are all done. Good job. And you can do that a couple times on your own. Oh, I forgot these 2 coins. You can do that a couple times on your own. It's a great activity, especially for our early learners. They seem to really enjoy it. It kind of has like a cause and effect aspect to it. So you see the item and then you push it in and you don't see it anymore. So it's a great activity for those early learners. All right, for our second activity, we're still in our back to school theme. So hopefully we can get into fall soon. But I am going to stick with back to school. This week we're going to make a schoolhouse. So we're going to work on those shapes. So tracing a square and then connecting dots to make a triangle. And then cutting a strip of paper into smaller pieces for our windows and our door. So you'll need a blue sheet of paper or some kind of a background sheet of paper. You're gonna need a white sheet of paper for the windows and door, and then a red sheet of paper for our schoolhouse. You're also gonna need your scissors, markers, and some glue. And then also, if you have something in your house, a common household item that is a small square, like a Tupperware container, I happen to have this onion soup mix box. That's going to help your child learn to trace a template. So we're going to start out by taking that template, or that square, and putting it on the bottom part of the red sheet of paper. And then you're going to grab a marker, any color, and trace around that template to make your shape. And this is a good reinforcement of learning shapes. And then once you make that square, have your child trace it with his or her finger. So square, so across, down, across, and up. And the square. So then on top of that sheet of paper, we're going to make 3 dots. So a lot of students have a goal to be able to connect 2 dots or draw a straight line or even a diagonal line. So you're going to put 3 dots like this on top of the paper. And then you're going to have your child connect the dots. So draw a line from here to here, and here to here, and then across the bottom, working on those horizontal lines. And you have a triangle. That's going to be the roof of your little red schoolhouse. So now we're going to work on scissor skills. And it might be easier to cut the 2 shapes apart first. So I'm going to cut down the center. And I like these shapes because some kids are still just practicing cutting on a straight line. And the nice thing about a square is they can go straight up when they cut and then turn the paper and go straight up again and so forth. So I'm going to cut out the square so you can see me cutting. top and turn the paper. Good. All right, and if your child, again, is struggling with hand preference or how to pick up scissors, put them in midline in the front. Have them hold up their thumb. Put their thumb in the little hole and stick the rest of their fingers in the big hole. And then you can practice opening and shutting a couple of times before you even cut paper. All right, so now we're gonna try our triangle. Cut out our triangle. Good cutting on a straight line. All right. We're learning our shapes. So you can ask your child, what shape is the triangle? Make sure that they can identify the triangle correctly. What shape is the square? Make sure they can identify the square correctly. All right, so then we're gonna take our white sheet of paper and we really just wanna practice drawing a line down. So if you need to draw 2 dots for your child to connect, you can do that. So put a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom. Just like that, we just need the edge of the paper and then draw a line down. And make sure you're pinching the marker. So some kids hold the marker like this. You really want to encourage pinching the marker. Up until 3 years old, a lot of kids still hold their marker like this, or they might extend their index finger. And that's okay because they still need that stability. But when they start to get closer to age 4, you really want to encourage this pincer grasp. And sometimes you have to give them a small item, like a cracker ball. I'll use one of my little pom-poms. And you can put this item under these 2 fingers and then hand them the marker. So that way these 2 fingers are not holding the marker. And then they can pinch. So we drew our line down. Now we're going to cut on that line. Now we can practice snipping. So again, we're going to snip some little squares. We'll snip 2 little ones. And then let's snip 1 big one. So that will be our door. So you should have 2 little squares and 1 big square when you're done. And we're going to take our big sheet of paper. And again, I always like to put X's where the glue is supposed to go. So put an X towards the bottom of the paper. And put some glue on. And put our big square down. And then we can put an X where we want our triangle. And I know school buildings don't look like this anymore, but this is our little red schoolhouse. And then we're gonna put on the triangle or the roof for the top. So it should look like that when you're done. A little house or schoolhouse. And then we're gonna add our windows and doors. So I put 2 windows at the top. These are really big windows. And then I'm gonna put my door at the bottom. It's starting to look like a schoolhouse with our windows and our door. Now I like the next exercise because a lot of kids are working on intersecting 2 lines to draw a cross or a plus sign. So in the window, you can draw dots to have them draw a line down. And then intersect with a line across. And then we're going to do that on the other side as well. Good. And then for our door, we just want 1 line down the middle. So again, we're reinforcing that goal for drawing a line down. And then we can put 2 dots for door handles. All right, and I like to write school on top so we get kids familiar with sight words or just starting to read or early reading skills. So I wrote school. And then if you want to get really creative, you can have your child add some clouds in the sky or some grass and get creative. So I'll add some flowers, make it pretty, and then always put your name on top. And when you're done, you have your little red schoolhouse. We worked on shapes, we worked on lines, we worked on scissor skills. So we were able to get all of those fundamentals in, and it looks really cute in the end. Another piece of artwork for your fridge. All right, so we are all done with our fine motor craft. Now we're gonna work on our self-help skills. So a lot of you are still working on buttoning, snapping and zipping, so I like to do that every week. And the nice thing is our warm-up activity really helped us with our buttoning skills this week, because we had to push those coins into a slot. And when you're buttoning, that's kind of what you're doing. You're pushing the button into the slot. And then I always use that peekaboo, pull it through. And then opening, I think the hardest part is stabilizing. So you want to stabilize with one hand holding it down, making sure your child can pinch and pull to open. Pinch and pull. Pinch and pull. Pinch and pull. You'll see a lot of kiddos using their whole hand to try to pull it open. Again, working on that radial side of the hand to pinch and pull is a great thing. All right. Snapping, we didn't introduce yet, but we'll do that this week. If you have a garment or just a pair of jeans with a snap, just lining up the snap is really hard for kids. So I always use the analogy of find the belly button, line it up flat on the table, and then I have them isolate their thumb because it's their strongest finger, and then push down and listen for the pop. You can hear that. We'll do that again. Line it up. You might have to help them. Push, listen, pop. And we did it. We snapped. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend.